Pedagogical Framework Analysis. Isn't it frustrating when you see educators only using technology as a substitute for a textbook? Or worse still, as a time filler for learners who may finish tasks early or need to be kept quiet? Let me introduce the SEMAR model. This has been designed by Dr. Ruben Pontedora. This framework has been designed for use by teachers to consider how they use technology to enhance learning. The SAMR framework hopes to assist the movement and enable teachers to design, develop and infuse digital learning experiences with the use of technology. SEMAR fits in closely with Bloom's taxonomy model. It is a model that classifies thinking in a hierarchical manner. It consists of 6 cognitive levels. These levels can be seen as a stairway to develop higher order thinking skills in our learners. When teachers redefine learning through the use of technology, they allow their learners to become critical and creative thinkers who are able to evaluate and analyse real-world examples in authentic contexts. The students can address real issues that are relevant to them. If teachers move from substitution of textbooks with technology to the redefinition phase, they will be allowing their learners to learn in a way that would be inconceivable any other way. When technology is used this way, learners collaborate with others and share knowledge about a common interest or passion. These two models will be explained in more detail as we tour through the SEMAR model within the context of modelling a science task with Year 6 students and teachers. Let's take a look at how technology can transform the way that our learners learn. We'll take a closer look. Here you can see a science task, which was a model of work from the ACARA website. You can see that they have this particular task as a poster. Watch this space as a task that was originally seen as a worksheet based and filling in tables to record data transforms to a task of pure engagement and participation. You will witness firsthand how the use of technology can enable the learners to successfully participate and learn through creativity, communication and collaboration. Let us start our journey with the S of the SEMAR model. The S is for substitution. Technology acts as a direct tool substitute with no functional change here. Teachers may substitute the new tool for the original method of teaching. The technology simply replaces what may have originally been done with pen, paper and textbooks. Interactive whiteboards are used instead of the normal whiteboard. Teacher pedagogy remains unchanged. There is no change to the way learning is delivered or the engagement of the learners. The expectation of the learner remains the same, as does the complexity of the set learning task. What does this look like in the Year 6 science example? If a Year 6 class were to be looking at the following from the science standard, the students will describe and predict the effect of environmental changes on individual living things. One of the first things in substitution level would be to use Google to search for the environmental changes. The teacher may create a blend space, a Web2 tool to organise online information in the one space. It will assist the learners to remember and understand what environmental changes are. You can see that it's very visually appealing, but nothing really changes too much apart from a Word document being used instead of pen and paper. Is this all that we can offer our learners with the use of technology? Surely we can do more. If we cannot use technology to do more than help our learners to remember and understand, we are not doing our job as educators. Still in the enhancement phase of Ruben Pontedora's SEMAR model, we will look at the A, augmentation. It's a different level of the model, but in reality we are still substituting. This part of the model still uses technology as a tool substitute, however with added functionality. Let's have a look at this in the Year 6 science example. The student using an app such as ShowMe to share the data that they have recorded. This app allows students to take photos or draw and record their voice rather than having to write everything down in Word or with pen and paper. They may be applying a procedure to a familiar task. The student here uses the Numbers application to display their data. This has allowed technological enhancements to be augmented into the task. They may also be using the different technologies to embed images into a document as they have here with their data records, or they may even use a thesaurus. They may even have used email to share their work with their teacher or to ask for further information. There is definitely more student engagement at this level, as you can see. However, in the end, the learning outcomes still remain the same. How is the growth of a plant affected by the physical conditions of their environment? The students have just represented the same data digitally. As we move on to the transformational phase of the SEMAR model, we come to modification. This level of the model is where technology is being used effectively, not just doing the same thing but with a different tool. We start to see some meaningful changes to the learning. This level may redesign parts of the tasks and begin to transform student learning. Pointendora explains that no longer is technology used solely to enhance the learning. It is actually beginning to transform learning. The teacher shifts the focus of individual gathering of information to a more collaborative approach in groups or a class setting. Students are still applying their thinking, but also beginning to analyse and evaluate their own thinking. Without the use of modification with technology, the students could be still using Word or programs such as Numbers to create tables for their data and interpreting the results themselves. However, if we are going to use modification of technology with this task, the teacher could allow the students to discuss the progress of their results with each other. Let's take a look at the Year 6 example. As we can see here, this is done by using technology to get students to collaborate and discuss their predictions and the progress of their investigation through the use of a postie and a forum in the school learning management system. The photos of the growth of the plants are also uploaded in a program such as iMovie. This allows the class to view the growth of the living things over a number of weeks in a matter of seconds. Students who were absent would be able to be a part of the process. Technology used in this transformational phase allows this learning activity to now become a self-directed and collaborative task, letting the students demonstrate their scientific knowledge rather than just their writing ability of writing up a report. Therefore, the use of technology at this level is ensuring that all students are able to access the curriculum and apply their understanding, not just to remember it. They will be able to analyse and evaluate the results that each other found. Designing an investigation to find out the effect of physical conditions on a plant in a fair test is a difficult task to explore. However, the technology allows for the student to truly see each other's investigation and learn from each other. These modifications allow the students to demonstrate more aspects of the scientific achievement standard. Let's take a look where. Originally, the task was only allowing the students to describe and predict the effect of environmental changes on individual living things. However, now you can see the student is also demonstrating investigative questions. They are identifying variables to be changed and measured. They are identifying where improvements to their methods or research could improve. They use not only graphic representations, but are certainly able to construct multimodal text to communicate ideas, methods and findings. The use of technologies such as iMovie and posties have modified the task to ensure the students can view each other's predictions, results and even comment on their peers' investigations. At the final level of the SEMAR model, we get to the R, redefinition. At this level, we are able to design and create new tasks that were once thought unimaginable. This level is certainly transforming student learning. If we are to look at the higher order thinking skills, the students are creating and evaluating. The learning will have certainly moved from the lower order thinking to higher order thinking skills. The students are critiquing each other's work and their own. They are planning and producing their own learning. Redefinition is where teachers may open the world of collaboration up so that learning is not only confined to the four walls of their classroom. It is where students use technology to create and own their own learning. It allows them to go to the many new worlds beyond the classroom. And we begin to see new attitudes toward learning. The transformative powers of technology are just that. They have transformed what could very well have been a mundane task with a scientific investigation write-up for these Year 6 students. However, through the use of technology at the redefinition level, it has allowed them to create their own knowledge from a curiosity, enabling them to question each other and receive feedback. Now, what does this look like for our Year 6 science? Again, instead of putting their scientific findings on a poster, the students were able to collaborate with each other. They were also able to share their results to students from other schools far away and receive their feedback, suggestions and ideas. The students were learning from each other. They were also able to compare growth of different types of plants in different environmental conditions. They could even ask experts in the field any questions that may help them to better understand the results and build knowledge. The transformational use of technology even allowed the students to question further. They then wanted to explore the growing of herbs in Australia as a company, looking at the system that is used, the profits that are made, and how they are then moved to the stores where consumers purchase them. Not only have they created their own learning with science, but they have started their next technological inquiry about the system from farm to plate. The actual possibilities and questions that the students had were endless, the learning unlimited, and the excitement unfathomable. As you can see, the learning environment shifted from being within the concrete walls of one school and moved to an online learning environment. This transformational use of technology through the learning management system provided a platform for the students to create and evaluate other students' work outside the four walls of the classroom. It provided a motivation and purpose for their learning. Technology allowed an authentic learning opportunity to take place. All students were able to access the curriculum and were not inhibited by only being able to write a scientific report. Technology made this task real. Technology made these students engage, and technology also allowed these students a voice for their own learning. When learning transformed using technology at this transformative level, the tasks become learner-oriented, open-ended and indicative of successful learning. If this model can be used at a whole school level, it would allow a common language for teachers to plan and see their learning of technology. The SEMAR model makes it very clear to a teacher what level they are on and if they have been able to shift and grow themselves with the use of technology. The use of this model with teachers can certainly be found as examples of the three domains of the professional standards: knowledge, practice, and engagement. The professional standards for teachers even tell us effective teachers are inspirational on young people. Just how inspirational are we if we are only substituting technology for pen and paper in this day and age? To continue to be effective, we must strive to redefine our use of technology in learning. The SEMAR model is a clear and visible framework to allow for this to happen. Adopting the SEMAR model as a school would also provide a very clear learning path for teachers and make their professional development and goals very clear. Dr. Rubens Quantadora's SEMAR framework clearly links to the Australian Curriculum and Australian Policy Initiative. This particular context within the Year 6 science classroom allows for active learning to take place, which is student-centred. It is very clear that the students are able to look at local and global issues after building knowledge in regards to their findings. My learning environment could be adapted to ensure the engagement of learner. Both teacher and student happens more than just once a term in a particular unit. The learning network could be utilised more effectively to ensure there is collaboration amongst the teachers across schools, not just the learners. My learning environment could benefit from teachers being able to let go of being the keeper of all knowledge and release the responsibility of learning onto the learners themselves. The ability to see beyond the four walls of the classroom, to let go of having to have desks and having to sit at a computer is where my learning environment could continue to grow. This framework explanation can also demonstrate the use of hybrid learning. Both the physical and the virtual learning environments are used to reach the highest potential. When learning is planned with the use of technology using the SEMA framework, students become more engaged with learning at all levels. They take advantage to create, communicate and collaborate with meaningful exchange with peers and learners outside their physical classroom. They build a confidence to learn, to have student voice. Their learning holds relevance to them as they are no longer required to exercise recall of information based on teacher-led lessons. As Doug Loader states in his application of the SEMA model, all teachers should be striving to be at a redefinition level. This is the place that the outcomes of learning are clearer, the technology becomes invisible, and the learning at hand takes priority. Finally, we need to think of technology not only as a tool for learning, which can be put down, thrown out, and replaced easily, but a vehicle that will drive us forward, drive us to question, and ultimately drive us to never stop learning.